What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Low Luxury, and welcome back to the Chrome Hearts hate train slash the Enfants Deprimes love train.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, as you've probably seen, over the past few weeks, we've been diving deep on E.R.D stuff. They're like my absolute favorite brand right now, and they're one of my favorites because they absolutely destroy Chrome Hearts in almost every way. People are always going crazy about Chrome Hearts right now, but Enfants Deprimes is like a secret monster in the luxury fashion scene. So we've already looked at t-shirts by E.R.D, we've looked at long sleeves, but this episode is where things start getting really, really interesting because this episode is like everything else, I guess you would say. But what makes that so interesting is that once you start getting into that everything else, that is where Chrome Hearts also starts getting better. So in the past couple episodes, Chrome Hearts just got smoked by Enfants Deprimes. But now there's actually going to be a little bit of a fight going on because when you get into like jeans, stuff like that, Chrome Hearts starts getting much more interesting, but E.R.D is also crazy good as well. So I've got a bunch of pieces to look at today. We're gonna look at the details. I'll talk about why they're just so sick, and then we'll try them on, put some different fits together, stuff like that. But first, if you don't subscribe to the channel, I really will be a depressed rich kid, so help me out there. And also, if you really like luxury clothing, but you don't like paying full price, check the links in the description, get some money off on me. Now, let's check out some E.R.D clothes, shall we? So, what do you think? Where do we start here? Do we do a hoodie, a shirt, a sweater, some jeans, some pants? Because we've got all of it. I was just like swaying like a wacky, inflatable, flailing arm tube man over here. I don't know. Let me dig into my bag of tricks and pick out the first piece. All right, you know what? I decided we're just going to start fairly simple. But this right here is the first hoodie that we have looked at in this series. Light blue, a little baby blue going on, and just a really messed up graphic. You've got this kid being fed, like mouth fed while he's completely cast up, and it says vegetate in the half-life. That is such an interesting statement that there are so many levels to. Like, you've got vegetables, you know what I mean, but also being fed here, maybe vegetables, but vegetate in the half-life. If you're not familiar, half-life has to do with like medications, which is like the, oh god, this is taking me back to my Arrowhead days. It is how long medication lasts in your system with like 50% efficacy. It's like basically like the active length of a medication. So, there are so many levels to this very messed up and kind of seemingly simple graphic. On a clothing end, there's a lot of cool stuff going on. You've got raglan sleeves. Raglan? I've actually like never said that word out loud. Raglan? Raglan sounds way better. I'm gonna assume that's what it is. Hooded, super nice like terry cloth on the inside. This thing is just real good. The sizing, I got it very, very oversized. That's how I like my pullover hoodies. This piece is just really, really sick. Seemingly simple too, but Chrome Hearts, we're well aware. Chrome Hearts stuff, their hoodies, we've already looked at the t-shirts, we've looked at the long sleeves. Their hoodies are no different. So this is a clear, clear win in my book. Maybe like if you really don't like colors, like you don't like blue or the pink of this shirt, maybe you could say Chrome Hearts is better if like you only wear black, but this is just so much more interesting. Isn't this art way cooler than a cemetery cross? Like, come on. There's actually really interesting messaging to dive into here, and it's also just creepy and kind of makes you feel weird, which is what I love so much about E.R.D stuff. All right, let's do some pants now. Or actually, these are jeans. Or actually, oh my god, they're like not even jeans. Okay, let's undo these. We'll get into that in a second. So these are like, look at that. Can you see that? Can you tell that? Like with the colors that are going on? There are these crazy straps that go around the legs, and these can also be undone and worn over the shoulders. All of the buttons are pressed with the E.R.D logo in there. Ooh, this piece is so nice. It's from the, what is that, Spring 2022 collection. You've even got some cinching going on along the back here with this little buckle going on. And now let's talk about the jeans versus pants thing, because these are actually like a thick canvas. They really have the same feel as denim, very, very similar. But if you get in super close, you'll notice it's almost more of like a pinpoint weave for these, whereas denim, you get those kind of diagonal lines going through. So very actually different style of fabrication, even though the feel is almost identical. But this harkens back to like the early days of denim, old school Americana type stuff. Super, super deep, like over-dyed, worn look. Vintage look, I suppose you could say. My leg's getting all tangled up here too. But this, there's just so much going on here. Even has some like side carpenter type pockets here. Oof, I love these things. I love them. Even the buckles, they're like aged. You can tell they've got a little like patina going on them. Every single element of these is incredibly, incredibly well thought out. Ugh, so dope. But real quick, this is where it starts getting insanely interesting, because Chrome Hearts jeans are some of their most coveted pieces. And I think in the case of these, the head-to-head battle, it really depends on what you're looking for, because the Chrome Hearts jeans with like the leather patches all over them are extremely, extremely loud. I also think they're much more interesting than a lot of the other t-shirts and hoodies that Chrome Hearts makes, starting to get into that next tier of creativity. Basically, once you get into the super expensive Chrome Hearts stuff, it starts actually getting interesting. So they've got their own very interesting elements here, especially with the straps, but they're also a bit quieter than like the leather patch jeans that Chrome Hearts does. So I guess in the end, it depends on how ostentatious you want to be, who wins that head-to-head. All right, now we're getting a little bit more formal, a little bit, I don't know, a bit more dressy, but also not at all, because it's also got a really crazy messed up print. This one even still in the packaging as well. But this is a short sleeve button down shirt with a really nice spread kind of camp collar. And this thing is just screen printed to hell with this kind of occult looking print as well. There's like some faces going around on the sleeves. You can see when you get really deep into the print, they have just slathered this thing in screen printing ink, and it gives this really like overwrought kind of heavy look to it, that it also matches with a slight stiffness, this slightly stiffer cotton fabrication here. So it matches the boxiness of the cut. The print, of course, is incredibly, incredibly creepy, and this is kind of the midway point, because E.R.D, they do lots of streetwear stuff, t-shirts, hoodies, yada, 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 a lot of stuff that we've already looked at. This is that midway point between the streetwear stuff, and then E.R.D also does some incredible, really high-end tailoring and things like that. So this is like the halfway point between the casual and the super formal luxury stuff that they do. So I think this piece is super, super cool. All right, back to some pants. And you may be saying, those aren't pants, that's a tote bag. Yeah, I'm showing the tote bag because this pair of pants came from Justin Reed, one of the maybe most famous consigners in the entire world, has some insane grails here. And I got a crazy E.R.D find from Justin Reed. Okay, let's undo these. Yes, my friends, you are seeing that right. This is an entire calfskin pair of leather pants right here. So sick. So sick. Do you see this? So snap button closure, I really like that. I much prefer that to your typical button closures that have, you know, the stitched holes that you have to go through. Makes them much easier to get in and out of. This is 100% cowhide, rather. Not calfskin, cowhide, and lined entirely in silk. And there's not a lot else to say about these. It is just a really, really nice pair of leather pants, but the construction is fantastic. The cut is really good. They have a slight crop at the legs and a really nice taper going down, so the cut is just really, really flattering in my opinion and can work with tons and tons of looks. Many have said that leather pants are the final frontier of men's fashion. I tend to agree to a certain degree. So I just think these are a sick addition to the closet. I don't have anything else like it. And E.R.D, their leather stuff is on another level. But here is where the fight with Chrome Hearts again stays interesting, because Chrome Hearts leather is like maybe the best thing that they do, other than maybe silver. I think their silver work is their best stuff. But then leather, very close second. They do crazy quilted patchwork leather stuff, as we've already talked about a bit with the jeans. So obviously this is not nearly as ornate as a lot of what Chrome Hearts does. So this is one of the very few places where I think I have to give Chrome Hearts the win. But again, it depends on what you're into, because there are probably a lot of days where most people aren't going to feel like wearing a quilted cemetery cross leather jacket or pair of leather pants or whatever. These are much more all-purpose while still being very, very loud, because a pair of leather pants is always going to be loud. So last but certainly not least, this may be my favorite piece of the entire episode. We have got an Enfants Riche Deprimes sweater. This is the goth couple sweater. Oh my God. This is like jacquard knit right here. It is a 100% cotton fabrication with a mock neck. This is also from, I believe, the spring 2022 collection. So it's all black, and then in this kind of like creamy ivory white, you've got Enfants going across the top, and then the goth couple, right? Guy holding a cross, and then this girl kind of with, I'm guessing it kind of looks like she's holding a book or something. That would be my guess. Kind of like a vampire, I don't know, scream queen kind of vibe right here. It's a little stripe going around. The sleeve too is a really, really nice touch. Oversized fit, kind of boxy fit. I really like the look of it once you put it on. And I mean, if you go to the head-to-head here with Chrome Hearts, does Chrome Hearts have anything in the sweater category that is this good? Like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. This is an easy win. Look at the graphic right here. This is like pure grail status stuff. E.R.D's knits are one of their most respected categories. I think they just do an incredible job there. So I'm just insanely psyched to have my hands on this. All right, so that's all the pieces for this episode, but we've looked at them, but that's not satisfying, right? We've got to put them on. And unlike the past episode where I would just do a montage of putting each piece on, we have some options here. We've got a lot of pieces here, so I think we have the opportunity to mix and match and actually start making some real looks here. So I'm incredibly excited about that. So let's just start having fun and throw stuff on. I hope you enjoyed this episode. These are, I think, my favorite E.R.D pieces that we've looked at so far in this entire series. If you were into this, if you are an E.R.D lover, or even a Chrome Hearts hater, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time.